Chapter 11. If we are to accomplish anything in a big way, a set, definite objective must be established. Suppose there is an urgent need for you to reach a certain town as quickly as possible. When you step into your automobile, you naturally picture in mind your destination, and you head in that direction. If you're uncertain of the way, you might take a wrong turn and head in the wrong direction, but eventually you find the way to get to your destination. You are guided by the picture in mind of the place you're headed for, and you get there. You held to a set, definite objective until you reached it. You held your objective or destination in mind without any particular effort or strain, and you returned to the proper route when you found you had strayed. It is the same with us. A set, definite objective must be established if we are to accomplish anything in a big way. What do I mean by establishing a set, definite objective? Is it as simple as it sounds? No, at least not at the start. Would you set your objective at making $1 million immediately, overnight? Yes, you might, if you have the capacity to see $1 million as an immediate possibility. But that's quite rare. The wise thing to do is to grow to it as marathon runners do, by first running a mile, then 2 miles, then 3, gradually expanding the capacity to eventually cover the full distance. Why is a set, definite objective necessary? There are 3 reasons. First, the inner mind is the positive pole of your being, and the outer is the negative pole. There must be a positive and negative in everything in the universe to complete a circuit or a circle, or there would be no activity, no motion. There would be no forward if we had no backward. There could be no up if there were no down. There could never be such a thing as good if there were no so-called evil. How could there be light without darkness? For us to be conscious of one thing, there must be an opposite to compare it with, or else it remains non-existent for us. Now, in everything that is obedient to the law, the positive dominates and governs, and the negative serves. But humanity reverses this. The outer mind looks upon the world and reports strife, competition, obstacles, impossibilities, and similar conditions. Why? Because of the absence of direction. It is left to wander without a purpose, and aimlessly wandering, it accepts everything. The set, definite objective, firmly imaged or pictured in mind, immediately whips the outer into line by giving it a fixed duty to perform. This automatically, without any effort on your part, infuses it with the positive quality of the inner mind. And again, automatically, positive conditions and individuals are attracted to you as surely as steel particles are attracted to a magnet. That's the first reason why a set, definite objective is necessary. Second, the atmosphere is filled with millions upon millions of thoughts, forever in motion. The hundreds of radio stations in this country, all broadcasting simultaneously, give you a slight idea of the thoughts in the air. Every human being is a broadcasting station, and everybody is a receiving set. This explains why I am able to answer your questions instantly, before you have had to form them into words. The fact is, I have been receiving your thoughts before you express them. This is a faculty developed after years of training. This faculty was always in me and is in you as well. I have brought out and made use of mine. Yours lies almost entirely dormant. People who have no set, definite objectives are tuning into everything and getting nothing. They are unfortunate indeed, for they are at the mercy of millions of conflicting thoughts, and their lives are full of confusion and distress. People who have definite objectives, on the other hand, deliberately tune into one thing. If it is money, they get it. If it is position, they get it. Nothing that such people tune into can be withheld. Third, when you set your mind on anything, whether it be small or large, tangible or intangible, a pencil, a hat, an automobile, a home, great riches, an education, a profession, or travel, you transfer a portion of your life force to that thing. Otherwise, it could not be drawn to you, and you continue to nourish it as long as you hold it in mind. And the intensity of your desire governs the power with which the force is directed. So you can see that if you direct that force to several objectives, it becomes divided, and each objective receives a fairly weak stimulus, which results in a slow reaction or no reaction at all. Do you have a great ultimate goal to reach that requires attaining lesser objectives along the way? Well then, let the many lie inactive and direct your force at the nearest or first. Once you accomplish that, take up the next, and so on. Now, have I given you the law in its entirety? In a sense, I have. Then again, I have not. To instruct you as to what to do is good, but to show you how to do it is better. It is not only necessary that we learn how to attain, but we must also learn how to maintain. So I will go further and give you an important requirement in successful achievement. That is secretiveness. When you work in the inner mind, you invoke and receive the help of the impersonal, unlimited resources of the universe. Before I explain the value of secretiveness, I have to start with another subject. When you declare, I am, I will, I did, you are making a profound and mighty statement. There are very few who realize the power released when the I is expressed. Hear the great proclamation, I am that I am, which was lived and resounded through the ages and which, when understood, unites each one of us with that impersonal universal power. The body you have is personal, but the I you express is universal. For in all the universe there is but one I, as in all the universe there is but one number one. The other numbers are but multiples or derivatives of that one. The number 7, for instance, is 1 repeated so many times. It is the understanding of those in my work that the I is the root from which the number 1 has sprung. From what I have said, you should be able to see this. When you work in the outer mind, you are working from a personal, limited standpoint. When you work in the inner mind, you invoke and receive the help of the impersonal, unlimited resources of the universe. Well, you ask, how am I to arrive at this state? Easily, I say, by merely following the system of practice I'm outlining. You naturally gravitate into it unknowingly. Since the great and mighty I is, when expressed individually, none other than yourself, you can see what power you have at your command. You can see what a wonderful being you are. You can see that you are now a master. Not yet developed, perhaps, but the qualities are there, waiting to unfold and be of use. If you don't clearly understand what I just said, let it pass for now, and we'll go on to the next idea. You can later reason it out for yourself and see the truth of it. You might question the value of such a detailed explanation, but I have a purpose, and that purpose is to force you to think deeply, with intensity. Don't confuse the word intensity with tenseness. Tenseness implies mental strain and arises out of fear and anxiety. It is destructive to both mind and body. My use of intensity here suggests mental force or power, and its results are constructive. Your progress depends upon your degree of sustained intensity in a given direction. You know that progress is becoming very rapid these days. We must travel as rapidly as the world or give up. And when we give up, we immediately begin to backslide. To enjoy enduring success, we should travel a little in advance of the world. The persistent inner urge in humanity to reach an objective more speedily eventually crystallized and outpictured itself in the form of an automobile, which was the first big step in fast transportation for general use. But since it is the nature of mind to forever reach out for greater achievement, the airplane came into being, and thus mind moves, and thus it will move forever. Open your eyes and look around you, and you can certainly see the trend. Mind is forever reaching out and has not stopped at the airplane as a rapid mode of travel. The person who knows the law and uses it is supreme. Those that are ignorant, who refuse to see this, just remain in bondage to their false beliefs. It is so important then to learn to think things through, rather than follow the same time-worn method of attempting to force them through. One is mastery and the other slavery. The value of secretiveness lies in the fact that being impersonal and universal, the I throws its power in with whatever words it is coupled, and when your plans are expressed verbally, they become released and their force is spent. The outer mind has found a way of escape, and your purpose has lost its necessary momentum.